In a dusty village nestled at the edge of the mountains, lived a quiet 12-year-old boy named Ali. His clothes were always a little too big, his sandals a little too worn, and his pockets forever empty. But Ali's imagination? That was boundless. He didn't have toys, nor books, nor gadgets. What he did have were dreams and a gift. With nothing but twigs, bits of charcoal, and stones, he'd sketch on walls, dirt paths, and empty sacks. His fingers, always stained, moved with the elegance of someone born to draw. He could draw anything: a lion would draw, a farmer bent in labor, a mother feeding her child. And they didn't just look like pictures, they breathed emotion. Every evening, when the other boys played cricket in the field, Ali would sit under the banyan tree, sketching shadows, clouds, birds mid-flight. He only had one wish in his heart. If only I had a pencil, just one real pencil, I'd draw the world people deserved. One day, while sketching a hungry dog near the village well, a strange man approached. He wore a cloak too warm for the weather, and his beard flowed like a silver river. "Why do you draw in the dust, child?" the man asked. "Because that's all I have," Ali replied without looking up. The man watched him finish the dog's tail. "What if I gave you a pencil that could turn your drawings into reality?" Ali blinked. "You mean, like magic?" The man pulled out a sleek, deep blue pencil that shimmered faintly in the sun. "This pencil is not for wishes. It's for purpose. It only works when your heart is honest, and your hands draw for others, not yourself." Ali hesitated. "I would never use it for myself." The man smiled, eyes kind. "If ever you're in trouble, draw me. I will come." And with that, he vanished, just like the wind through a cracked window. Trembling, Ali stared at the pencil. Then, cautiously, he drew a loaf of bread. In a blink, it turned real. He drew a blanket, soft, warm, heavy in his hands. He laughed, crying at the same time. "It's real! It's all real!" That night, instead of drawing for himself, he walked through the lanes and huts of his village. He drew rice for the old couple, medicine for the sick child, a wooden cart for the limping laborer. Whatever people needed, Ali drew, and it became real. Soon, everyone whispered of the boy with the miracle pencil. No one went to bed hungry in that village. Children had shoes. Old men had canes. Mothers had milk. And then came Princess Noor. She arrived unannounced, wearing simple clothes, hiding her identity. She had heard tales of the drawing boy and wanted to see for herself. She found him sketching a raincoat for a child before a storm. "You're the one they talk about," she said, stepping out of the shadows. Ali nodded, wiping his hands. "I just draw." "And you never draw for yourself?" He shook his head. Noor smiled. "You're either foolish or noble." "I don't know the difference," he said. "But I know what hungry looks like." When she returned to the palace, Noor told her father, King Jabir, about Ali. The king, curious and greedy, summoned the boy. "You may live here now," King Jabir declared. "Draw a throne of gold, one with peacock feathers and rubies." Ali bowed. "Your Majesty." "I can't." "Can't or won't? The pencil only works for the poor. It was given to me with a promise." The king's eyes narrowed. "Promises are for weak men. Give me the pencil." He snatched it from Ali's hand and ordered the royal artist to draw. They drew gold. They drew trees of coins. They drew a diamond crown. Nothing came alive. Frustrated, the king tried himself. Still, nothing. He turned to the boy, voice like thunder. Either draw what I ask, or be imprisoned. Ali lowered his head, heart racing. If he refused, he'd lose the pencil, and worse, the poor would suffer. But if he obeyed, he'd break his promise. There must be a way out, he thought. Then, remembering the man's words, Ali took the pencil and drew a tall figure with a silver beard. The old man stepped out of the sketch. Majesty, the man said calmly, you live in luxury. Why steal from a child who serves the hungry? I'm king! Jabir shouted. I deserve the finest. Yet nothing you drew became real, the old man said. Because you drew with pride, not purpose. The room fell silent. Noor stepped forward. Father, I've seen the boy. He gives what others won't. He listens. He cares. You demand, but he creates. The king looked between the girl and the boy, between his field gold sketches and the quiet power Ali held. I have wronged you, the king finally whispered. I let my greed blind me. Forgive me, Ali. The old man smiled faintly and disappeared into light. From that day on, the pencil remained with Ali. But he never moved to the palace. He chose to live in the village, though the king offered him gold, land, and a mansion. Instead, the king built a school of art near the hills, where Ali would teach drawing to all children, rich or poor. And next to that school, Princess Noor opened a clinic, where medicine and warmth flowed freely. The pencil? It rested in Ali's hands, still glowing faintly. But more important than the magic was the hand that held it. Because it wasn't the pencil that changed the world. It was the heart behind the hand. Moral. True power lies not in what we possess, but in what we give. And only when our hands serve others, can magic truly come alive.